Good day, and greetings from the Great White North. My name is Prickly Poo, and welcome to day 50 of A Year of Change. We've hit it. We've finally hit a fairly good milestone of 50 days. I've been trying to figure out one way or the other if I should do sort of a milestone on like every 50, so 50, 100, 150, just to sort of keep it somewhat even throughout. Something in my eyeball. I'm sorry. That was unexpected. So anyway, something to keep that sort of an even keel, not winking at you. I was also thinking about doing it sort of every 30 days to sort of keep it as a... I still have something in my eye, I'm sorry. I could edit this out, but not going to. To sort of keep it every 30 days just so that there's still that month-long, year-ishy feel to it. And I haven't really figured out which one I'm going to do. So, because I didn't do anything for day 30, I had pre-recorded something, but it was depressing, so I re-recorded it, and I didn't really acknowledge the fact that we've been doing anything for a month. And it sort of is weird because we go, 7 days at a time, so technically it's every 28 days for every 4 weeks, which is a month. So I don't know what I'm going to do. But I think we should at least acknowledge the fact that you've hit 50, which is a very good milestone. So, for the record, yay! There's 50. We probably won't do much more than that. I don't know, we'll figure something out for day 60 or something if I'm going to do that. Or we might keep going to day 100 and then go that way. It's the fact that we have those extra days at the end that are going to do it. We could acknowledge both, I suppose, and say for what we're doing every 50 days, it's sort of like, not a round number, but it's a nice even number to sort of stop on, because this isn't a thing like, well, we're 30 days to a fit or you, or 90 days to being able to fly. It's just sort of, it's an ongoing thing. So we aren't going to, technically, this is for a year. There's a bug in here. There's going to be going on for a year, but it's an ongoing thing. So it'll hit 50 and 100 and 200 and 300 and 400, and it'll keep going. We're going to do our 365 for this so that we have at least a framework for it, but that'll be it. So, in sort of recognition of day 50, bravo and congratulations, we are starting our 8th week doing this. So, as per usual, do your way in, all your little fancy stuff, record it in MyFitnessPal and stuff like that, and make sure that you have everything that you need to do. And, as usual, we're going to do a food change. Now, this is going to be pretty much our last food change. Well, our last change for just sort of standard diets, the way that we've been going. We've added water, we've added vegetables and stuff like that. But next week, in the next weigh-in, that's when we're going to start the exercise stuff. Don't panic. Don't abandon in this. It's going to be fine. You're probably already doing what you need to do. So don't worry about it. So you have a full week, you'll be okay. But for this week, we're going to do a small change, and it's one we've already done before. A couple of weeks ago, I had you add 1 cup of vegetables to your meals every day. I don't care when it is. All we're doing this week, we're just going to add another cup. So you're already doing what we're doing this week. The reason why I just sort of want to add another one in there is that even if you are just having that 1 cup, we aren't really getting everything that we need. So we need to sort of bump it up a bit. And it doesn't mean that you have to have just vegetables every single day. If you want, just add in a cup at lunch and a cup at dinner or supper or whatever you call it. That's going to be enough. Or, now, obviously not things like deep fried carrots, which I tried, what was it, last week? Yes, last weekend, which was weird. Anyway, I don't care if they're cooked or they're raw or if you're just using them to snack on, whatever it is. As long as at the end of the day you're getting about 2 cups of vegetables. And as you find, you may already be up there anyway. You're going to find as we progress, you're going to be eating more and more of them because they do give a lot of what we need. And you can eat a tremendous amount of them. And it's not the same as eating, a bucket full of chicken. You can have a bucket full of any vegetable and you're probably going to be okay. Potato chips and fries don't count. I think we did that last time as well. Potatoes on their own, if that's where you want to go, then we'll deal with that later on, but it's still considered a vegetable. A lot of people would say that potatoes don't count, period, because they're just really sugars and starches and they really don't have any benefit. But if you can get to a point where, well, see, again, the only way to really eat potatoes is either to chips, fries, which are also called chips, or like mashed potatoes or whipped potatoes or home fries, or there's always something like butter, salt, and pepper and potatoes just sort of go together. So let's say this then. We'll do this. We'll do 2 changes. You'll need to add that 2 cups of vegetables in total, okay? And potatoes don't count in any form. We'll do that. That's a big change. You can still eat potatoes all you want. I mean, I'm not saying you can't eat potatoes, but just say that wouldn't count towards your vegetables, okay? So that way it just sort of excludes that. We won't need to fiddle around with that later on down the road. We aren't cutting out potatoes, so don't worry. But it's also going to prompt you to maybe find something else that you can use or that you can eat. Because really with potatoes, I can't think of any way, if they aren't fried or like mashed with butter and potatoes and salt and stuff, and even homemade home fries, like if you just chop them up and dry fry them, which is kind of weird. I mean, that's better, but there's really no way to make them better. I don't know. So we will say that potatoes don't count in this. So sort of a bit of an increase, and then the major change, which would be potatoes. Still eat potatoes if you want. That's not a problem. We'll deal with all the other stuff way down the road. But for right now, we just want to get so that we're getting at least 2 cups per day. You can have them, 2 cups worth at supper if you want. And like I say, some of you are probably already doing that because you're thinking 1 cup of vegetables is nothing. So I'm just going to double up because it doesn't really add much to it. So whatever you're eating, vegetable-wise, go that way. And again, try to avoid things like deep frying them or, boiling them in butter and stuff like that. You don't have to steam them, or you don't have to eat them raw. But just sort of look at it and say, okay, I can't really, in good conscience, deep fry broccoli and say, oh, no, I'm getting all the benefits of it. So just sort of common sense. And that's it. That is our food change for the week. And so just do that throughout the week, and that'll sort of keep us on track. It'll hopefully fill you up a little bit more. I really hope that you found something vegetable-wise that you really, really enjoyed. Because if you can snack on it all day, it doesn't matter. It's going to add a minimal amount of calories to it. And it's a hell of a lot better than doing cookies and cakes and stuff like that. Now, some of you are probably still craving the cookies and cakes and stuff like that. Don't get to a point where you're going to say, I hate this, I'm going to stop and fuck it, and then just start shoveling food in. Have what you need to have in the long run if it's going to keep you on board and on track with this. It's okay. You don't eat how we would normally eat them and say, well, if I only ate 1 sleeve of cookies, the other one is still in there. Have a reasonable amount. And no, I'm not going to say have 1 cookie. If we could have 1 fucking cookie, then we wouldn't be doing this, would we? So there you go. And technically, if you twist off the cookie part and throw it away, and then just keep piling in the centers, so it's just like cookie, then center, cookie, I think that still counts as 1 cookie. That's my logic anyway. Anyway, I'm giving you really bad advice at that stage. Anyway, ignore what I just said. Just the vegetable thing, we'll do that, and then potatoes don't count. But you can still have potatoes. I'm not cutting anything out yet. We aren't cutting foods out, and sugar and salt and all the other good stuff. We aren't cutting any of that out. But the main thing that I wanted to do today, where we've sort of hit a milestone, is I want to get a little bit more structure to what we've been doing. I want this to sort of be more of a diary as well, to sort of share my progress, and that's originally what it started out to be. And then every day there was just sort of a topic that we wanted to touch on, and we didn't really go into it. We're still going to have that, but it's not going to be just every single day a heavy topic or preachy or anything like that. So here's what I'm hoping to do. On Sundays, day 1 of each week, we'll do that way. I do my weigh-ins on Sunday. If you do yours on Saturday or Monday or whatever day of the week that you start in. But this is how I'm going to be doing this now. So, first day of the week, Should I say Sunday? I'm going to say Sunday. I'm going to put a little caption here just to say Sunday or day 1 per week and go from there. So I think I'm going to start with Sunday. So week 1, get out of the way. So Sunday, we'll do that. Sunday will be my day 1. So on Sundays, that's when we do our weigh-in, just sort of a brief summary of what the week is, any changes that we do, updates and things like that, like the food change. That isn't really going to change a whole lot. Just to sort of set the tone for the week and go from there. On Mondays, those will be the days when we have our topics. And that's mainly so that we have something to talk about throughout the week. So that if it's something like a couple of weeks ago when we did, or I guess it was last week. No, 2 weeks ago when we did body image. It's not going to be a full week of body image. It's not going to be really heavy topics throughout an entire week. We'll have one day every week that we pick something. Like a fat tax or childhood obesity or bullying, stuff like that. Like things that are related to what we are doing. That will be our topic day. Just to sort of get things started, get things talking, and so that it'll give you something to talk about as well, either in the comments throughout the week or with your friends or whoever you're doing this with, just to sort of get a dialogue going and start building. Now, Tuesdays, that is going to be something that I'm not going to tell you what it is right now. We're going to wait until Tuesday to share that because I sort of want it to be not really a surprise. And if you're watching this later on, you already know what it is. But it's just something that sort of, I found that my intention in starting this, I've sort of not really neglected, but the main reason why I started has sort of fallen by the wayside. So we'll get into that on Tuesday, and it's going to be a new addition to the channel. So I'll just leave it with that. It's very, very secretive. Shh, don't tell anyone. So we'll do that. So Wednesdays. Wednesdays are going to be, we're 12 minutes, we're good. So Wednesdays will be the same. We're going to do our food entries. That's when we do things like finding alternative snacks. Things like the dates and the pickles and stuff like that we did. We're going to talk about other foods as well. Things that maybe not necessarily, we'll try this instead of this, but benefits of certain foods. Things like the deep fried one that we had the other day. Even if it's really bad, we'll bring it up there. So that will be our food day where we talk about a little bit of everything. Someone had suggested to me that I start doing recipes, but there are billions of them out there, and everyone has their own idea. And quite honestly, if I was going to do a cooking thing, I don't know if I'd be able to, because I would need to get a separate camera. I would need to film in my kitchen. And there's no way I'm going to do one without the music from the Swedish Chef in the background playing all the time. And I can't afford the royalties for it. So that's not going to happen. Sorry. There are different places that you can go to find all sorts of different recipes. And a lot of what we're doing, it's not really focused on, here, have some hummus and dried wheat thins. So ours is more of a lifestyle change thing. But if I could have gotten the royalties for the Swedish Chef music, that would have been great. Because I definitely would have done one. So I might do it anyway if I can just do it for one video, and then YouTube will yell at me for stealing someone else's property and then take it down, but it would be very funny. Anyway, that would be our Wednesday. Thursdays are going to be the days when sort of just over the middle of the week, just to sort of give a progress report as to, that's when the diary section is going to come in. So that might be a little boring for some of you. Just sort of showing where I am, in that way you can sort of compare it, whether you're going to be ahead of me, whether you're just starting out, and just to sort of not gauge where you should be, because that's not what this is about. It's just simply that, just part of it is so that I have a record as well, so that I can go back a year from now and look at it and say, okay, that's where I was at this stage, and whether I was feeling better, and, be able to find out those parts where maybe I had a week where I fell through and I went over every single day for the week. Little things like that. That will be Thursdays. Fridays, that will be sort of like Mondays. But that's going to be more along the lines of the documentaries, things in my recommended viewing, stuff like that. That's when I'll go around and I'll be able to add a new one in there, give a brief discussion on it, not to really sort of say, well, you have to go watch this, but something that it'll give you something to watch during the weekend if you have a chance. Obviously, some people, no one works Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 anymore, really. So everyone works everywhere. But I think it's a good spot to sort of put something in so that if you want, you can go and you can watch it. It'll sort of touch on a topic that we talked about earlier on, maybe, if I can look that far ahead, and go from there. So, and then that brings us all the way back to Saturday. Saturday will just sort of be one of those days that that will be when I share my embarrassing stories, sort of say what went on during the week, if something bad happened then, little history notes and things like that, and just sort of wrap everything up and talk to you guys and see where things stand with things like comments or the MyFitnessPal group, stuff like that. Just a nice to wrap things up in a nice, neat little bow, and then prepare us for the next day. And then we'll come back around. We'll do it again. That is my plan, anyway. I don't know if it's actually going to be able to be done, or if I'm going to tweak it again, because let's face it, the ability to plan that far ahead is fine. But every now and then there's going to be something that's going to throw a wrench in the works and it's not going to work out. But that's my plan anyway, is to get to a stage where we sort of have, I guess, a bit of a schedule so that okay, well, if you had a rough week and you're thinking, good enough, Friday's coming up, it'll give me something to watch, or Saturday will come up and I'll be able to laugh at him because he fell off a bus. Whatever it is, it'll be something that you'll sort of know what's going to happen. And maybe Thursdays, where that's sort of the progress thing, we can sort of talk about where we're starting our exercise next week. We'll sort of expand on that a little bit. And again, with the exercise, don't worry, you're not going to be going for long walks. You're not going to be doing jumping jacks. You're not going to be doing sit-ups or pull-ups or pull-up. That's a diaper, isn't it? No, it's an exercise too. Okay. So that's really bad if someone mentions an exercise to you and you go, no, that's a diaper. I'm pretty sure. Anyway, yes, I'm sure there are other exercises out there that I have no idea. That someone would say, oh, I did 15 of these today. Oh, that sounds delicious. That sounds like a cake. Anyway, maybe we'll do that on Thursdays as well, just to sort of meld everything in together. That might be a little bit better. See, it's changed already and we haven't even started yet. So bravo. But as for right now, that's pretty much it. Starting up our 8th week, and I figured the reason why we're sort of starting the exercise next week is that's 8 weeks. It's 2 months of getting prepared, knowing that it's coming along, and again, it's going to be very minimal, the stuff that we do. But after 2 months, these 8 weeks, we've done quite a bit. You've changed the way that you're eating. You're still sticking with me watching these. So I think it's a good time to say, good enough, we have sort of blocked off in 4-week increments. We could do that for our sort of milestone, every 4 weeks. I still don't know what we're going to do. So 50 days, or every 4 weeks, or every 60 days. I don't really want to go month by month because, again, people are going to be changing off and on. We'll figure something out. But for right now, thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked it, please poke the like button for me. And in the meantime, keep yourself warm and fuzzy, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.